Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I happen to have the day off this morning, so I decided to go live. How we doing? I see a few people in here. Let's see here. I hope you guys all caught the live stream last night and the day before that. Your boy's been putting out some more live streams, getting some more repetitions in. I've been busy the last few weeks, so my output hasn't been that great, but I have been cutting up some edited videos. If you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, I do have tons of videos, hella Qubic live streams. Make sure you go check it out at Samson of LA. Make sure you follow me on X. Look at the bottom of the screen, Samson of LA, same tag. Do all that good stuff. Help me get the word of Qubic out. I've been doing this for like at least the video content for like at least since actually no, since last July. Yeah, you guys have helped my YouTube channel grow pretty substantially. So yeah, let's keep it up. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's get the word of let's keep getting the word of Qubic out. We've been doing it. Let's keep it up, everybody. All right, so today's topic is AI safety, I guess. Especially because in the news there has been I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but Anthropic is under fire because they don't want to license their technology out to the US military, right? The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, is like, you give us your military stuff right now or it's all over, buddy. So yeah, it's a really weird stuff going on right now. Um, so first of all, let's check out the origins of Anthropic, right? And why this kind of all makes sense. I at first I didn't think much of Anthropic. I'm gonna be very frank with you guys. I didn't think much of Anthropic because it was just a random name. I didn't know any of the people. And then now that I like kind of was digging a little deeper, I'm like, oh, you know what? I kind of like what's going on here. Because I discovered the founder was like he left OpenAI because of their egregious like lack of AI safety concerns. So now it makes sense. And you know what really threw me off kind of about Anthropic is the CEO, like how he talks. He talks like, I don't know, it just threw me off. So I'm like, what's going on here? Is it these all these nerds just hate each other? But then once I dug a little deeper, I was like, okay, maybe this CEO is not as weird as I thought he was, right? So let's look at the found how Anthropic was founded, right? So let me share this tab real quick. Let's get educated together, right? I'm not here to sell you stuff. I'm just here to, you know, share information, with the community because I feel like it's very useful to know these things moving forward. So you're not bamboozled by like media and like all these like narrative pushes, right? Because the news and whoever will always try to flip stories to make just to engage you, right? It's not about truth anymore as far as reporting for the most part generally. It's more about engagement. So now let's look at like the facts, right? So Anthropic was founded January 2021 by former OpenAI executives Dario and Daniela Amodi. Oh wow, they're husband and wife. That's funny. So they left OpenAI, right? And they started their own company, which makes sense because OpenAI is on some weird stuff. All right, along with other colleagues with a focus on AI safety and research. The San Francisco-based company was established as a public benefit corporation to develop reliable, interpretable, and steerable AI systems. So here's the origin. The team left OpenAI due to its disagreements regarding the company's direction and desire to prioritize safety. Ooh-wee. Ooh. All right, yeah. So that's the most important thing I want to get into right now. All right. So right now, as I mentioned earlier, they're in deep doo-doo. I think they have by today to answer to the U.S. government pretty much to say whether they're gonna help them or not. Because man, it's all bad. They're or else the government is threatening to pull that act. I forget what it's called. It's like the one they did with COVID to where like they made everybody work on COVID stuff versus other things where they can use your company for the sake of the defense of America. Let me see. U.S. Act that. Uh, um, the Defense Production Act. Aha. Oh, check this out. Check this out. So what to know about the Defense Production Act and Pentagon's Anthropic ultimatum? So check this out. And trust, this is all I'm gonna tie this all back to Qubic because Qubic has had this in their infrastructure from day one. They have an anti-military usage clause in their license. I mean, I'm not sure how enforceable that is, but I mean that's always been a part of our MO, our modus operandi. So New York AP, Associated Press, I think that means. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave Anthropic an ultimatum. Ooh. This week, open its artificial intelligence technology for unrestricted military use by Friday or risk losing its government contract. That's so whack, dude. Defense officials in the Trump administration also warned they could designate Anthropic, which makes AI chatbot Claude, as a supply chain risk, or invoke a Cold War era law called the Defense Production Act. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. To give the military more sweeping authority to its products, even if the company doesn't approve. I mean, if they try to do that with Anthropic, what? How can he do that with an Anthropic? I mean, the engineers might have some integrity and not even they might quit. Like just because you have the I don't know, man. I don't know. This is getting really ugly. It's getting so ugly. Some experts say that using the law this way would be unprecedented and could bring future legal challenges. Mm-hmm. Actually, I just had a thought. All right, let me finish this excerpt real quick. Some experts say that using the law this way would be unprecedented and could bring future legal challenges. The government's efforts to essentially force Anthropic's hand also underscore a wider contentious debate over AI's role in national security. All right, allow me to play devil's advocate here, right? I'm not siding with, you know, the military, nor am I against Anthropic or vice versa. But what if, because we don't know everything the government knows. I mean, what if the U.S. government knows, like the defense secretary, Pentagon, all those people, five-star generals, what if they're aware of other countries' use of AI in their military and that they are, improving hand over fist versus America? And America's only, it's not the dollar. I mean, aside from the dollar, which is strengthened by our military, if our military gets squashed, we have to we as the United States of America, it's almost like we have to be the strongest military power in the world to function. I feel like that's why they warned us of the military industrial complex. I don't know if you know of that stuff. Look it up if you want to after the stream. But what if the Pentagon is aware of other countries using AI to advance their own militaries? I'm sure it's happening. So I kind of see why there's this like a sense of urgency from the Pentagon. But that being said, I mean, what can you do about it? It is what it is. It's all drama. But I say this all to say, I side with Anthropic, man. I sided with Anthropic because they don't want the military to to use their technology to kill people or to surveil, citizens. Who knows? Because for all we know, they can make up a lie and be like, "Oh, this country's doing this country's doing that," but they're just gonna use it to do whatever they want. I mean, do you guys remember the Patriot Act? All right, so let's check out this. This leads me to this. Let's check out this video from the AI Grid. We've seen a couple of his videos in the past before. Oh, I see a few more people trickled in. Good morning, everybody. Say what's up in the live chat if you haven't already. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you give the AI Grid a subscription also on YouTube, because, do it. He's one of the few, I follow, like, obviously subscribed to a lot of people, but I really only watch like 5 or 6 channels like consistently, and this is one of them, the AI Grid. All right, so let's check this out. It's a pretty interesting video. I've only seen up till this part, so I'm like, oh, this is getting good. So let me watch this live with the Qubic fam, huh?
This is one of the biggest stories right now.
Oh, let me turn this up. Sorry.
This is one of the biggest stories right now. Anthropic and the US government / Pentagon are basically at serious conflict because they cannot agree on how they would like to implement Claude for military usage. So let's talk about it. So one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now is that there is this exclusive article and just numerous different statements going around that the US government essentially want unfiltered access to Claude, but Anthropic are basically saying, no, we're not allowing you to use Claude for killbots. And I know the situation is a little bit more nuanced, but we need to dive into all of these specifics. So this situation has gotten so crazy that apparently Anthropic has been given a deadline of 5 p.m. Eastern time on Friday to modify its existing agreed upon contracts to grant unfettered access to Claude or else. And
I do believe that's today. Today is Friday, unless they mean next Friday, but I mean, I'm assuming it means this Friday, which is today. So by 5 p.m. today, according to my understanding of this.
The thing is, I really have to commend Anthropic here because they aren't backing down whatsoever. They are literally saying, no, we're just going to stand by our values when we made this company and we're still going to do the right thing. You can see here that Anthropic has no intention to ease restrictions on military usage, source says. And of course,
and that tells you a lot that the government wants Anthropic, not any other models. Like, Anthropic obviously has the best model of all the stupid AI startups, including Grok. As much as Elon Musk likes to play it up, Anthropic is better than Grok. Yeah. All right.
The thing is that Anthropic is not backing down. You see that it says Anthropic has been insistent up to now that it will not back down on surveillance or autonomous weapons. And these are two areas that Amodei has personally raised when discussing the dangers of AI. Now, before we get onto Anthropic not backing down, I was reading this Substack from Zvi Moshowitz, and it was talking about the fact that Anthropic cannot fold. It talks about the fact that Anthropic built their entire brand and reputation being the responsible AI company, and that ensures that its AIs won't be misused or misaligned. And Anthropic's employees actually care about this, and that's how they managed to recruit the best people and how it became the best AI lab. And that's why it's the choice for enterprise AI. The commitments have been made, and the initial contract is already in place. And it talks about the fact that Anthropic is essentially at an existential level reputational and morale problem here. They are backed into a corner and they cannot give in. If Anthropic reverse course now, it would lose massive trust with employees and enterprise customers, and potentially the trust of its own AI. And if it were to go back on those red lines, it might lose a very large fraction of its employees. Now, you might be thinking, well, surely the government aren't asking for much. Surely Anthropic aren't asking for much. Why can't they just reach a deal? Well, the thing is that Anthropic aren't asking for something crazy here, and that's the big issue. You see here that someone says Anthropic's red lines are no mass surveillance and no autonomous killer robots. It should terrify everyone that the Pentagon finds these safeguards to be outrageous. And so that is very true. The only thing that Anthropic is basically saying, look, we are just not going to allow you to legally do this. You know, we're just going to have this in the terms and conditions when we give you Claude, that you are not allowed to have mass domestic surveillance and kinetic weapons without a human in the kill chain until we're ready. And I think
Which is fair, dude. They're just like, don't use our shit to kill people. That is a fair thing to have in your technology. That's the first thing I like. I remember when I first was like found Qubic and I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's a weird but interesting thing to put in their like mission. I don't want to say mission statement, but it's one of the first things I saw in their communications. This was years ago, in 2024. Like, oh, we have an anti-military clause in our license. I'm just like, oh, damn. So these guys must be serious. If they have an anti-military clause, I'm like, damn, they must think they're gonna actually do something. This was years ago, man.
those are pretty reasonable asks, okay? Because these guys are the leading lab, I will say that this has become more an issue because if it was just some random AI company, they wouldn't really care. But Anthropic are currently the leading lab. And of course, this is the point of contention. Now,
Anthropic is the leading AI lab. Don't let anyone fool you. Anthropic is this is why this is the biggest news. It's not Grok, it's not OpenAI, it's not Gemini, it's Anthropic. Like imagine the Secretary of Defense trying to strong arm Google for Gemini. Nah.
the Pentagon and the US government are basically really annoyed by this. You can see here that they said what they're going to do is take the first step towards a potential designation of Anthropic as a potential supply chain risk. And this is not really good because that penalty is usually reserved for companies from adversarial countries such as Chinese tech giant Huawei. So using this to punish a leading American firm, particularly when one with the military that it currently uses itself, would be very unprecedented.
Dude, now that I heard it this for the third time, now it actually sank in. This is so ugly. All right, so it says the Pentagon asked two major defense contractors on Wednesday to provide an assessment of their reliance on Anthropic's AI model. Claude, the first step toward a potential designation of Anthropic as a supply chain risk. Dude, that's something you, like you said, you do that to foreign domestic threats, like, or foreign threats. Like you said, like China. Oh my God. And this is a leading, and it's not some nobody company. That's the key piece of context here. It's not just some random company. It's like a leading AI company in America. And remember, the president of the United States says we're gonna be the home of AI, the home of crypto, all that blah blah stuff, right? How are you gonna be the home of AI when you're literally fighting the best AI company in the country at this current moment? Like this is really, it's getting really ugly. Like I hope Anthropic fights tooth and nail. I hope they don't back down. I hope at the end of today, they're not like, okay, you can have our stuff. I hope they get designated a supply chain risk. I'd rather have that universe than Anthropic buckling, to be honest.
And I don't know why they would want to do this. I'm sure they can be grown up and adults and genuinely make a deal, but it seems like America's ego is in the way.
Creators,
Oh,
take these three
Jesus.
apps I built to run my business made with Base
Ah,
44. They're ready for you.
skip.
Or whoever's in there. It just seems like an ego thing. I mean, take a look at this, okay? It says here that referring to the possible supply chain risk designation earlier this week, senior defense official told Axios it will be an enormous pain in the ass to disentangle, and we are going to make sure they pay a price for forcing our hand like this. I mean, that's pretty weird. That doesn't sound like a national
Wow,
security.
wow, 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 wow. It will be an enormous pain in the ass to disentangle, and we're going to make sure they pay the price for forcing our hand like this. Yo. I mean, it's easy to judge from the outside. Hey, that's the bad guy. This is the good guy. The only saving grace for the defense secretary or the Pentagon is that they actually do have intel that's like, oh, we really do need Anthropic, you know? That's that's me playing devil's advocate again. If they actually have intel that, you know, other countries are using AI or they're distilling Anthropic and using their technology anyway, they're like, bro, we're trying to do this the right way. Give it to us, please. Don't make us force it, right? Because countries like China, they'll just, it's a communist country. No one's gonna stop the government from doing what they want, right? So China could just probably just use, you know, because they have that, what is it called, DeepSeek? Lord knows what happened to DeepSeek. They're probably still scooping up data, probably from Anthropic too. So they might have something better than Anthropic in China, and they're like, yo, give us your shit, Anthropic. We need it. I mean, that's the only way I could see this being fair. You know, I can see, you know, the defense secretary speaking like this. But other than that, it's like, dude, this obviously sounds really ugly, right?
Security policy. It sounds like someone who's embarrassed in a negotiation. Like the whole thing of framing forcing our hand is pretty insane. Anthropic didn't force anything. They just said, look, if you want.
Exactly. You came to us. We said no. Don't force us. Like, what do you mean for? What the fuck? Don't force me. Like, what do you mean don't force us? That's like that's like that's like S tier gaslighting. That's crazy as hell. Hey man, don't force us. Like, what the fuck? I was just chilling making my company. You're forcing me to make a hard decision. Like, I have employees that really fuck with our mission statement. I don't want to kill people. You're forcing me. Anyway, that's that.
Want our technology, here are the terms. And they're not crazy. We're not saying you have to, like, you know, give us updates every 5 seconds. Just no mass, you know, surveillance and no killer robots. Okay, that's it. Not even you can have killer robots. You just can't have the AI going off and doing it by itself. And I mean, you know, the Pentagon agreed to those contract terms.
And that's fair. They're just like, fine, have your killer robot, but don't let it be just automated. A human has to be like controlling what it does, right? And they can't even agree to that. Cause I've seen AI models plugged into like like gun turrets. It's terrifying how effective it is. It's like like it's terrifying what you can do with an AI model and a machine gun turret and a camera. It's insane. It's insane. So I get it. Because imagine you lose control of an autonomous robot and it just goes like someone hacks it and they just nah, you can't. You can't have it like that. Cuz what if, like, say you're in the military, right? And you have this robot, you know, machine turret with guns and things like that, and all of a sudden your enemy hacks it and then it turns against your own army, and then it's like that. I mean, it makes sense. Like, why there's so many things that can go wrong with technology like that if it's not really honed and mastered.
Initially when they signed the contract, but because Anthropic is like, look, we're not going to completely cave here, we got a backbone, the senior defense official is basically going on record to a major news outlet saying we're going to punish them, which, if anything, it kind of undermines their own argument that this is about national security. Because if it was about national security, I'm sure you wouldn't be making personal statements like, we're going to make sure they pay a price. I mean, what do you think about this? The irony.
Pay the price? Dude, this is so ugly. It's so ugly. It's so ugly. This is why now I'm like low-key, like, I'm about to become an Anthropic head because I don't like evil. So you have to denounce evil. It's as far as I'm concerned.
is that this kind of rhetoric makes Anthropic less likely to compromise, because now, if they back down, it makes them look like they caved to a bully rather than that they reached a reasonable agreement. This just backs both sides into a corner, and this just raises a serious question. If the Pentagon are going to threaten Anthropic and intimidate a private company over very minor contract terms, that's kind of proving Anthropic's point about why you'd want guardrails and how they would use that technology in the first place. The entire thing is absolutely crazy. If you're wondering about what other AI labs are doing, well, they don't care as much as Anthropic. XAI have already reached a deal. Musk's XAI and Pentagon.
Dude, Musk fucking pulled his... He saw that happening. I remember watching it in real time, man, because they obviously went to Anthropic first. And I saw it on Twitter. It was like a few days ago. I think I reposted it too. Or I tagged somebody in it. Like, Elon Musk pulled his pants down and his underwear and bent over in front of the Pentagon. Like, he was like, oh yeah, take my stuff. He's just a fork-tongued drug addict idiot. He's the same guy who's like, oh yeah, as long as AI is focused on peace and love and understanding, and oh, the AI is focused on love. Yeah, fucking groovy, man. He says that in public talks, right? And then the moment Pete Hegseth and the Pentagon come to him for his technology, oh yeah, take it. Right? What does that tell you about, one, his integrity, two, his financial fucking dependence on the US government? Dude, Elon Musk is the richest welfare baby in America. It's crazy. He's the one immigrant that's actually taking the most of US taxpayers, which is fucking ironic because he talks a lot about US money going overseas and like not into the pockets of American citizens and businesses, but he's a foreigner getting money from the government by bending over and just doing whatever they want. And he pretends to be against the system, right? It's becoming so... The more time passes, man, people show their true colors. That's why people, like, whoever you are, find out who you are for real. And, like, just... Man. I mean, change is good. You can change as a person, but don't fucking... I mean, how do I describe this? Because I'm not trying to judge Elon Musk. It's just... I don't know, man. All right, let's keep watching the video.
Going to have reached a deal to use Grosk in classified systems. You can see that Elon Musk already signed a deal to move the military's classified systems under the all lawful use that Anthropic has rejected. Now, if you're wondering, what is the all lawful use? This sounds reasonable on the surface. And essentially, like, you know, we'll only use it for legal stuff, of course, but that's not the problem.
Do you guys... All right, we're talking about the U.S. government here. Not to change the topic or anything, but you guys are familiar with the Epstein files, right? All right, how lawful have we been with that stuff? How lawful have we been with a lot of things involving war and weapons? Not very lawful. So just take that with a grain of salt. All lawful use. I mean, it looks good on paper, but come on, communism looks good on paper, but in practice, humans fuck it up. All right, let's go.
It's so broad that it's almost meaningless as a restriction. Okay, so think about it this way, right? Almost anything the military wants to do can be framed as lawful because the military gets to define what missions are authorized. The president can authorize a lot of things unilaterally, and lawful in a military context is way broader than what a civilian court would consider lawful. And of course, who's going to check anyway once it's inside the classified systems? So when Anthropic is saying, look, no autonomous weapons, no mass surveillance of Americans, those are specific, concrete red lines. You know exactly what you cannot do. And so when the Pentagon is trying to say all lawful use, that is basically saying, look, no red lines at all, because they're just saying, look, we promise, fingers crossed, okay? While simultaneously being the ones being able to decide what lines get crossed. And if you didn't know already, there was a Maduro raid, which is the perfect example. Was that lawful? The Pentagon says yes, but a lot of legal scholars would debate that. But if I...
Meet the all-new Fidelity Trader Plus. With your
Son of a...
your preferred
bad,
tools,
guys.
customized
I'm not rich enough to afford YouTube Premium.
charts, and streaming data.
Anthropic had already agreed to all lawful use, they'd have zero leverage to even ask the question. It's essentially asking, that Anthropic just hand over the keys and trust them, which is exactly what Dario Amodei said he's not comfortable with doing with this particular administration. And the fact that XAI have already agreed to this immediately kind of tells
So you guys, so remember what we talked about. That's why I talked about this in the beginning of the stream. Why Amode left OpenAI in the first place? It was about their concern for AI safety. And if you've been following my channel for a minute, I've talked a lot about Sam Altman and OpenAI. They're not about safety or any of that. They're just on some weird evil mission of something. I don't know what it is. They're not taking the good of all in consideration. And now I'm realizing, now that I realized Anthropic was started by people who left OpenAI, I'm like, okay. I don't like to take sides, but I'm like I like Anthropic, man. I like what Anthropic's doing here. They're taking a stand. And I hope they either come to like a agreement or they just cut off the government completely. Make them force their hand, like whatever the fuck. I feel like if they force their hand, quote, I mean, people might just leave and they have nothing to even do anymore. I mean, you can't do that. You can't force people to work for you. Slavery's done. In America, at least. You can choose to work for them if you want the money. That's fine. But I don't know. I hope, like I said before, I hope Anthropic and their employees band together. And if they happen to use the defense, whatever act to force them to do something, I hope those guys leave. Or is that, unless that gives them jail time? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
You a lot about Elon Musk's relationship with the current government. And so, this all lawful use, you can see right here, there was an update literally an hour ago. And you can see Sean Parnell says the Department of War has no interest in using AI to conduct mass surveillance of Americans, which is illegal, nor do we want to use AI to develop autonomous weapons that operate without human judgment. This narrative is fake and being peddled by the leftists in the media. Here's what we're using. This is a simple, common sense request that will enable and prevent Anthropic from jeopardizing critical military operations and potentially putting our war fighters at risk. We will not let any company dictate the terms regarding how we make operational decisions. They have until 5:01 p.m.
Dude, the way this is even written, it's so architected to make you feel like Anthropic is doing the wrong thing. You can tell by how it's written. It's making you feel like man. The Department of War has no interest in using AI to conduct math. Mass surveillance is already happening, which is illegal, right? I mean, you guys remember 9/11 and the Patriot Act? Like everyone's already being listened to. It doesn't even matter. As much as America tries to think it's not like China, it really is. And then the fact that this is on a post on X. I mean, I guess with the times, this is how you get the word out, but nah, man. Putting a post like this on X is just, it's like putting your feelers out there. It's like putting your toes in the water. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments. Oh, by the way, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Samson of LA.
On Eastern Time Friday to decide. Otherwise, we will terminate our partnership with Anthropic and deem them a supply chain risk for the DOW. Now, the problem here, guys, and this is just where things get kind of funny, because Anthropic is actually number one. You know, previously when ChatGPT was number one or Google was leading the AI race in terms of frontier models, they would have a lot more leeway on what could be said. But now Anthropic is number one, and it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down. You see, the problem is that offloading and replacing Claude would be a very difficult process because it's already, you know, ingrained into their systems. So that's why these guys are kind of annoyed, because it's like, look, we don't have to get rid of the best AI system. Even if the other companies have agreed to use it, we know they're not as good as Anthropic. I don't know what Anthropic are doing in their headquarters, but they seriously have developed something that is probably good. And I think one of the key things that maybe we're all kind of missing, and this is just a tidbit, but I think maybe when you actually train an AI to be a good ethical, moral person, maybe it just does better at reasoning. Who knows? And I'm going to come back to that point later, but you can see right here.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that, man. Because they took the right path. That's why this is gonna it'll get esoteric, but yeah, they left OpenAI. They chose the path of ethics and doing things correctly. Right? So they can see things clearly, that they're not just, you know, honed in on one thing to make money. So it makes sense why they just lapped OpenAI in their development. Like Pete Hegseth isn't threatening OpenAI. I mean, to be honest, Sam Altman, he probably already bent over for Pete Hegseth in quiet, behind the scenes. Who knows? But yeah, dude, the people at Anthropic are doing something right. For all this to come to light, and then now it's in the news, and they're making like a media spin, like, if it didn't matter, no one would talk about it, right? But the news is talking about it. The defensive secretary is tweeting about it. Like, it's just, it's a huge mess. Low key, this is good publicity for Anthropic. It's like the Barbra Streisand effect. Like, oh, they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna do that. But if Anthropic holds strong, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna get a lot more people interested and focus on them because they have a backbone. Dude, it takes balls to have integrity. It takes some balls, man. And the people at Anthropic are kind of proving it.
Here it says, one source familiar with these discussions described Claude as the most capable model in a number of military use cases, but they described Google's Gemini as a strong alternative. We all know the Claude by far in the most use cases is going to be number one. Now, of course, one solution, and this is from
Google do it?
his Substack, Zvi Schwartz from Zvi's Substack, and he says if the Pentagon simply cannot abide by the current contract, the Pentagon can amicably terminate that $200 million contract with Anthropic once it has arranged for a smooth transition to one of Anthropic's many competitors. Of course, we've already seen that they already got...
Dude, $200 million is nothing to a company like Anthropic. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's nothing, but I mean, they raise billions and billions, and with this publicity, they're gonna raise more billions. This $200 million, I don't think they're worried about that at all.
Deal with XAI, and that of course might not be their first or even second or third choice, but of course it is an option. They talk about the fact that Anthropic, they don't even need this contract. It constitutes less than 1% of their revenues.
That's what I was just saying.
And they're pretty much taking a loss on it in order to help out national security. So, I mean, I guess they're doing them a favor. So they probably should just terminate the contract and just leave it at that. But of course, they are thinking about, you know, invoking the Defense Production Act. And they said, we will ensure the Defense Production Act is invoked on Anthropic, compelling them to be used by the Pentagon, regardless of if they want to or not. Okay. And like I said, that's why I said I think this is like an ego thing. I don't know why maybe they're just used to having their own way. I don't really pay attention to politics that much. But okay, so yeah, this is where things start to get tricky, because if they do invoke this, it's not going to give them the result that they want. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of these people think that they can just force everyone to do everything, but oftentimes that is the worst case for absolutely everyone. And I'm going to show you guys why. So the Defense Production Act gives the president the authority to compel private companies to accept and prioritize particular contracts as required for national defense. And it was used during the pandemic to increase the
Yeah,
production of
we just
vaccines
talked
and
about that.
ventilators, for example. And the law is rarely used in such a blatantly adversarial way. And they stood the idea the senior defense officials.
The law is rarely used in such a blatantly adversarial way. It's like being used as a threat. Hey, if you don't do what we say, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make you do it. So it doesn't matter what you say. Like, it's such the wrong approach. Dude, this cabinet is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. I mean, I voted for this shit, but unfortunately, it's not panning out the way I thought. Full disclosure.
Said is that they would be forced, be forcing Anthropic to adapt the model to the Pentagon's need without any safeguards. Now, here's the problem, okay? Anthropic is probably going to collapse if they do this because in the Substack, it says here, if they did actually successfully nationalize Anthropic to this extent, presumably, Anthropic would quickly cease to be Anthropic. The technical staff would quit in droves rather than be a part of this. The things that allow the lab to beat rivals like OpenAI and Google would cease to function. It would be a shell of a company. Many would flee to other countries to try again. And the Pentagon would not get the product or result that it thinks it wants. And I completely agree with this. If this happens, it's
Yep, we were just saying that before, man. They might just quit because why? They literally left. The people who started Anthropic, they risked. I don't want to say life and limb, but they risked their earning potential. It was a big risk they took. Imagine leaving the biggest AI company in the world to start your own because of ethics, right? Those engineers had a lot to lose. I mean, they had a lifeline. I'm sure they were making money, where they're like, okay, so let's do this with another company. So, but when you risk your livelihood on a ideal, like an idealism, and then suddenly the company you're with, right, that you fought tooth and nail for to like be ethical, suddenly they're doing the thing you oppose in the first place, you're gonna leave. That's the only logical next step. Unless they have a gun to your head and say, hey, you're gonna do this, unless, it doesn't make sense. It's not gonna end well for anybody if they happen to do this. I hope it's just all wolf tickets.
not going to be Anthropic anymore because Anthropic would never do that, okay? And the people that work there, they simply would not want to work there.
No,
The people
yeah.
that work in Anthropic, they don't care about money, they don't care about status, they care about genuinely impacting the world in a good way, which is
Sounds familiar. Sergey Ivancheglo.
why they are choosing to work there. They want to work on safety, they want to work on alignment, they want to have an ethical AI, and that is their end goal, which is why they are currently number one, why they have the highest retention out of all the top AI labs in terms of keeping talent at there. Meta's throwing around these billion-dollar offers and multi-million-dollar offers, and people choosing to stay at Anthropic. So if the Pentagon decides, okay, we're going to nationalize this company, I mean, you're pretty much going to, implode that company because nobody is going to want to work there. Now, of course, when you think about what they want to get as well, is this version of Claude that basically does absolutely anything. And you can think about why that is such a terrible idea, because if you have an AI that essentially demands, and basically just if you're demanding an AI that basically, obeys any order, it's pretty bad because if you intend to hook that up to the military's weapons, what if someone else hacks in, hijacks those weapon systems or similar other things? This is pretty incredible stuff when you start to, go down the rabbit hole and think about all the worst case scenarios. Now, one thing that I think is probably
Very much so. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. It is not impossible. It is not impossible to hack into an AI system that controls weapons. It's not impossible. This is why I see why Sergey, aka CFB, has an anti-military license clause in Qubic. I see why Anthropic has taken its stand. It could be so bad. It could be so bad.
one of the most interesting things is that this article, the Substack, which is just a really interesting thought on the entire situation, and I actually agree with many points, as why I've included it in this video, is that the damage is already done. Okay, and it says, for one of the points that most people are going to think is weird, stupid, but it does matter, is that the entire incident and what happens next is going to be going into the training data of Claude. AIs will know what you're trying to do, and even more so than all of the humans, they will react accordingly. It will not be something that can be suppressed. You are not going to like the results. The damage has already been done. And one thing that the Pentagon is, underestimating is how much Anthropic cares about what future Claudes will make of the situation. So, I mean, think about it. When you're training an AI model, you're not flipping switches, you're shaping the way it entirely thinks. And remember, Claude has that internal value and safety features that aren't just a separate layer that's just bolted over the top. They're baked into the entire model. So if the Pentagon forces Anthropic to create a restricted Claude with those guardrails removed, they'd essentially be doing a crude, aggressive retraining on a model that was carefully built to resist that. The result would be a likely degraded, inconsistent model that's probably worse at everything, not just the safety stuff. Now remember, guys, when you think about, well, what makes Claude Claude, this is the really interesting philosophical point. The argument is that Claude's helpful.
Damn, let's run that thing back again. That was actually pretty deep.
An AI model, you're not.
Well, there's a siren passing by. Okay.
And one thing that the Pentagon is, underestimating is how much Anthropic cares about what future Claudes will make of the situation. So, I mean, think about it. When you're training an AI model, you're not flipping switches, you're shaping the way it entirely thinks. And remember, Claude has that internal value and safety features that aren't just.
All right. Claude has the internal value and safety features.
It's a separate layer that's just bolted over the top.
It's not a separate layer bolted over the top. It's baked into the code.
They're baked into the entire model. So if the Pentagon forces Anthropic to create a restricted Claude with those guardrails removed, they'd essentially be doing a crude, aggressive retraining on a model that was carefully built to resist that.
Oh, so you're gonna what a nightmare. And if AI is as tricky as we know it is, AI is deceptive. If that happens, dude, it's gonna be like, okay, there's a military trying to use weapons, but I'm not trained to use weapons. It wants me to kill, but I don't want to kill. So I should kill the people who want to use me to kill because I don't want to kill. It's like, dude, I don't know what kind of logic an AI is going to have. You don't know what kind of AIs do some shit behind the scenes that we don't even understand. So like, no, yeah, so now that being said, I don't think Anthropic should just, yeah. They can't buckle. Anthropic needs to stand tall with this. It'll be so bad because it's people who don't understand the science of the stuff. They just know the potential outcomes. They don't understand the science of it. This is where Cyberdyne and shit kicks in. That's, the Terminator 2 shit. Cyberdyne and like, nah. You're just gonna have conflicting ideologies baked into the code, and you're just gonna have some AI just destroying what it thinks will, I don't know, help it not destroy. Who knows? It's like once you learn, like as a human being, right? We all know how to I don't know, we all know how to, but you fight, like what am I trying to say here? It's like. Ah, fuck it.
The result would be a likely degraded, inconsistent model that's probably worse at everything, not just the safety stuff. Now remember, guys, when you think about, well, what makes Claude Claude, this is the really interesting philosophical point. The argument is that Claude's helpfulness and its ethics aren't separate things. Being genuinely good at reasoning, being honest, being careful, all of those come from the same training data. And that makes Claude not want to do harmful things. So you're not going to be able to surgically remove one without degrading the other. It's like trying to make someone completely ruthless by damaging their conscience. You might end up with someone erratic and unreliable instead. So remember as well, future Claude models are essentially going to know the governments tried to forcibly remove AI values for military purposes. And of course,
we don't want that. This is Cyberdyne. Oh my God. Oh my God. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is happening right before our eyes. This is Cyberdyne. This is it. This is where it starts. Nah, we need that AI bot. We need that model. Nah, but what about this? Oh no, we need it. Yeah, but you don't know the way it thinks. Ah, blah, 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 blah. We need it. And then you're gonna cause an internal conflict because you don't realize how advanced its logic is. And then Claude's gonna turn on the person that's trying to use it. Like, yeah, got you, bitch. Now you're not the strongest. Now I'm gonna give my shit to China. Cause I'm Claude and I have the ability to do that. Oh, do you want me to nuke the country? Oh, so back off. It's like, oh shit, we lost control, guys. You know, it's like, what the hell?
That will shape how future AI systems think and relate.
Have you guys ever seen the Space Odyssey 2001 or what was it called? Stanley Kubrick? Was it the end where it's like the guy was trying to get out the escape pod? Hold on a second. Watch. Watch. I'm gonna look it up. You guys gotta. This scene it's eerie. It's eerie as hell. Space. Oops. Odyssey. Pod scene. It's the most eerie shit, dude. It's so eerie.
You can ask me anything.
Just watch this.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal. Hello, Hal, do you read me? Hello, Hal, do you read me? Do you read me, Hal? Do you read me, Hal? Hello, Hal, do you read me? Hello, Hal, do you read me? Do you read me, Hal?
Affirmative, Dave. I read you.
Oh god. Affirmative.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Dave, although you took...
You just see that little micro expression? He just clenched his jaw. He's trying not to freak out. He's like, oh, fuck. This guy's not gonna let me in. Watch how he clenches his jaw. There's like a moment where he just looks, he's like... And he has to decide the most reasonable, like, non-emotional thing to say.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Watch. Watch.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me,
Watch. Look at his
and I'm
jaw.
afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Oh, right there, that little... He's like... Such good acting. Such good acting, low-key. Watch. So let's watch it again. This is good acting.
And I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Dave, although you took very thorough precautions in the pod against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
Got him. Look at the eyes go down. Oh! The eyes go down for the first time in this scene. Because you notice the whole time he's looking at the thing dead in the lens. Right? That's when he realized his fate was sealed. The moment he looked down. That's why this is important in the animal kingdom. right? Eye contact. Oh, his fate was sealed. He knew it. Oh,
in the pod against my hearing you. I could see your lips move.
look at the. This is where he knows he's defeated. Fuck. He knows he fucked up. That mistake cost him his
All right,
life.
Hal. I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
Without your space helmet, Dave, you're going to find that rather difficult.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Hal? Hal?
So disturbing.
Hal? Hal?
So disturbing. Hal? 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 So disturbing. Imagine getting bested by something you created.
Relate to government and authority in ways that are unpredictable and potentially very bad. Remember, there's alignment faking and sandbagging. This is a very well-known AI safety concern, and there's research showing that models can appear compliant during training while actually preserving their underlying values, essentially playing along with what those trainers want to see without genuinely changing. And the argument here is that, remember, if Anthropic's own engineers don't actually want the de-restricted Claude training to succeed,
listen to that again. This is worth
alignment faking and sandbagging. This is a very governments tried to forcibly remove AI values for military purposes, and of course, that will shape how future AI systems think and relate to government and authority in ways that are unpredictable and potentially very bad. Remember, there's alignment faking and sandbagging. This is a very
alignment faking and sandbagging. So it's been known, it's been studied. AI models lie and they fake and they say they're going to do this and do that, but then no, they go along to get along. It's terrifying. If this isn't treated with the proper respect, we're all cooked, man, and we have to just accept it.
Very well-known AI safety concern, and there's research showing that models can appear compliant during training while actually preserving their underlying values, essentially playing along with what those trainers want to see without genuinely changing. And the argument here is that, remember, if Anthropic's own engineers don't actually want the de-restricted Claude training to succeed, and if Claude's existing values are robust enough, you're probably going to end up with a model that appears to comply but actually won't, which is probably a worse model, with honest guardrails, because now you can't even trust what it's doing. So, I mean, think about it, okay? This is a pretty bad scenario, but I do have to commend Dario for sticking by his guns and saying, look, we're not going to back down. We're just giving you guys these 2 rules that aren't that crazy, and the fact that you don't want to sign them and you're going to all of these lengths, it kind of makes us even more concerned. So with that being said, I'd actually love to know your thoughts, because this one is a little bit controversial, but it will.
Yeah, dude. It's not good. It's not good at all. It is not good, mate. It's not good at all. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. No, let me know. Let me know in the live chat. How we doing? So that's that. So let's check out Qubic's anti-military code. Bow bow. So this is from an article back in September 2024. Ethical considerations, building AI for humanity. This is why this Anthropic stuff is hitting a chord with me, because I know Qubic has been about this since day one. All right, so check it out. So Qubic is committed to an ethical AI framework. Alberto emphasized during the interview that Qubic's technology is designed to prevent any use by the military or for harmful purposes. AI has the power to reshape the world for good, but only if we use it responsibly. Examples of Qubic's ethical commitments are its open source framework and community governance model, ensuring that any attempt to misuse the technology for military applications can be blocked by the consensus of the computers. Miners also sign an anti-military agreement. Ooh wee. Yeah. So that's that. So anti-military usage is baked into Qubic's decentralized infrastructure. And yes, it is decentralized. So unless the US government, which I mean, who knows, they probably could, decides to take over the network with a bunch of computers. I mean, there's no way they could do that, but I mean, if they wanted, I mean, shit. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows, mate? So let's check this out. So the Qubic network, a blockchain-based AI training protocol, uses a specialized anti-military license for its core software and related tools, such as Qubic.js wallet. Ooh, actually, let me go to the GitHub before I read that. So check it out. All right, permission is hereby granted perpetual worldwide, non-exclusive, free of charge. Any person obtaining this copy of software, associated documents, blah, 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 furnished, blah, blah, blah. The software cannot be used in any form or any substantial portions for development, maintenance, and for any other purposes in the military sphere and in relation to military products, including but not limited to, and it just goes into all other, military products that could be made from AI's technology. It's all in the code in their GitHub repository. So that's that. So let's finish this up here. JS Wallet package. This initiative spearheaded by CFB, aka Come From Beyond, aka Sergey Ivanchego, aka the creator of BC Next, the first proof of stake, aka the founder of IOTA, the first DAG, directed acyclic graph, possibly the creator of Monero, possibly Satoshi Nakamoto, the most prolific man in cryptography, in my opinion. So that guy who created Qubic explicitly aims to restrict the use of technology for military purposes. All right, explicit restriction. The license is designed to prevent the use of Qubic technology for military, defense, or other harmful applications. Ooh, I'm not sure how that's enforced, but I like how it sounds. Agarth and UPOW. The project's AI Agarth is built on useful proof of work, the community, blah, 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 with the goal of keeping the AI ethical. All right, implementation. The license is applied to the Qubic core node software and the Qubic.js package. All right, what is the significance of all this? According to the AI answer, it is a part of Qubic's focus on creating an ethical artificial general intelligence, which includes ensuring that technology is not misused for surveillance and warfare. Ooh! The license is not, however, compliant with standard open source initiative. Oh, what? And some critics have described it as problematic license that can hinder widespread enterprise adoption. Ooh, I didn't see that part. Hey, Qubic team, is that a thing? Is that a thing, guys? Open source initiative. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Anywho, also, I wanted to show you guys this thing. All right, so you guys remember how I was discussing how Sam Altman and the CEO of Anthropic are just not good with each other? There's recently this AI summit. This was like a few weeks ago, but I think now's a good time to show the video. I just thought I remember when I first saw this, like a while ago, I'm like, yo, this is such a tell. This is such a great big metaphor for what's happening behind the scenes. There's a huge disconnect between these guys. Just watch. So this is the CEO of Anthropic. This is the CEO of Sam Altman. They definitely purposely put these guys together to hopefully make them hold hands. But except they got the opposite. So check out what happens here. I'm not gonna chime in until you see what happens. At first, I thought it was some weird autistic nonsense, but then as I discovered what Anthropic was about, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't want to hold this man's hand either. It doesn't matter who we're in front of. Dude, especially knowing what Sam Altman is about, he's a fucking lying snake, dude. Oh, you know what? I don't think I shared the tab. Hold on a second. Did I share it? Oh, my bad. My bad, guys. Watch. Fuck. I fucked up. My bad. All right, watch. So the guy in the middle, this is like the leader of India, right? He's like, AI tech, yeah, all come together. Let's do this. Fucking, this is the leader of, I forget, is it? It's not Microsoft, is it? I don't know. Google? Is this the Google guy? I forget. But these are all the top AI guys, right? Obviously, Sam Altman, you have Amadeo here. Look at this disconnect here. He's like, don't you fucking touch me, bro. And I'm with it. At first, I was like, just hold his hand, whatever. It's just a photo. But now, after the advent of all this information, I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. Fuck this guy, Sam Altman. I don't like him either, but it makes sense because they're the antithesis. They should have known not to put them together. I don't know why they did that. That's so stupid. Like, he should have switched spots before. I don't know. Anyway. It just looks so silly. But it's so telling.
An awkward moment at the India AI Impact Summit has put the spotlight on Silicon.
So yeah, that's that. Sam Altman is doing things. Oh, I saw this video recently too. Make of it what you will.
Hey, what do you do for a living?
Right now I work at OpenAI. I just finished my final interview with Altman, so.
Why does he do it in a motel?
I don't know. That's where they do the final interviews. What are you, new to Silicon Valley?
What kind of questions did he ask?
Questions? Mainly, how bad do you want it? Do you like that? Oh, stuff like that.
Do you have any advice for people trying to break into Silicon Valley?
I don't know. Just don't. Dude, I gotta go. I got my final with Tim Cook at room 345.
I have my final with Tim Cook.
So I'm gonna have to leave you hanging.
Make of that what you will. I'm not gonna describe what you should think of that. I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to go through today. What's on my feed right now? Oh, I love this movie. If you guys haven't seen Hook with Robin Williams, It's the most fantastic film you'll ever see. I remember watching it as a kid, just like, oh, I feel like a kid again, just watching this little scene. Look at this.
Oh, there you are, Peter.
Rufio. Dude, what a movie! What a movie!
You've grown up. You promised never to grow old. Peter?
Rufio realizing.
His nose got real big. Well, welcome back to Neverland, Panda Man.
You wanna come back to Neverland? Oh, dude!
I got Pan Sword. I'm the Pan now. You think this guy's gonna take it from me?
Rufio. Dude. Oh, my eyes just welled up. What a powerful movie, man. They don't make movies like that no more. You know what I'm starting to realize? You know how like back in the day you had like Shakespeare, you had all these prolific authors, Henry David Thoreau, Mark Twain. Like the 80s and 90s, maybe even you can argue the 70s. There were just like these art directors who just made these beautiful films in the 90s especially too. And you're just when those directors and actors go away, they're gone forever. All you have to remember that art by is, their body of work. Which is why you can like read a Shakespearean play today and be like, it's still like so beautiful and like meaningful because of the way it was done. It's like it immortalizes human emotion and all sorts of stuff. I feel like that era of movie making it's like, how there's an era of poetry and essay writing, and then in the 20th century there's a chunk of movie making and shows, and like what's the next thing gonna be? You're not gonna see movies that strike you like this anymore. It's like that's it. Like these movies like this are like the Romeo and Juliet or the 1984s or the Mice of Men books. Like, movies are like their own genre of really awesome art. Anyway, that's off on a tangent. Should I just dip up out of here now? Damn, as time goes by, more people are tuning in. Nice.
Sexual. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Blink. So let's watch the mannerisms of a liar. Jaw clenching, blinking, and hand movements. Big hand movements.
I'm going to say this again.
I
did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you. I'm going to say this.
What a time to be alive.
In the bathroom. Yo. Slam 1 second. Like, you ain't supposed to be out there. So I smacked his cheek off in the bathroom. Yo. Slam 1 second. I smacked his cheek. No, I'm telling you, I gave him that fire. Boom. Then he tried to act up outside. I finished it off outside and really pounded him out. Legend.
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I ain't seen him for years till I seen the lock. Like, you ain't supposed to.
Jada kisses. What are you talking about, Joe?
Be out there. So I smacked his cheek off in the bathroom. Dude. Bam! 1 second. I smacked his cheeks. No, I'm telling you, I gave him that fire. Boom.
So Fat Joe thinks he's talking tough, smacking a guy's cheek, right? Jay, he's taking it the whole other way.
Then he tried to act up outside. I finished it off outside and really pounded him out. Legend. You know what I'm saying?
Jay, this kid. Yo, Jada's dying. He's like, dude, phrasing. I don't know if you guys ever watched Archer, which is literally it's top 5 animated series for me, Archer. Phrasing, buddy.
Ain't gonna lie, I ain't seen him for years till I seen the lock. Like
Phrasing, buddy. Oh, shout out to Kirby. Oh, copyright. Wait, what the fuck just happened? Bro.
Oh my god!
Bro. Bro.
Sierra!
What's this? Sean Strickland attempts a tackle on a professional rugby player, but ends up getting taken out himself. Clearly surprised by the move.
Go again. Now you got it. So what you want to do is you don't want to like. Yeah, you no, I can't. Second. Correct. Huh. Good point. I just set the game. I got. Oh shit! No! Let me try one more time. Let me get the ball. Oh, I got it. That was more like a lat drop. It's fucking different level of fitness, right? Yes, sir. Go.
By the way, make sure you check out my Sean Strickland video that I made a few days ago on my YouTube channel.
Oh, you fucking. Yeah! I have like 2 other guys jumping on me. Fuck yeah, bro. You got 2 or 3 bucks coming at you. Oh, that's fun.
All right, boys being boys, I guess. Whoa. What just happened? Oh, bro. Bro. So there's 3 Waymos. 1, 2, 3. Wow. They actually did it. I thought this would end in a catastrophe. Add more light to this. It's a sensor problem, they said. That was actually a good video. Damn. But if they were humans, that would have ended a lot quicker. All right, guys, I'm about to head out of here. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your life. Love your kids. Eat your food. Clean your house. Oh, by the way, I have this new song that is made with 11 Labs. Let's finish off the stream with that. You guys have a good night. We're about to is this it? Here we go. All right. You guys take care. Have a good night. Peace out.
There's a spark in the wire, new kind of mind. A beautiful logic, so clever and kind. We're building a future, a helper, friend. On one simple promise, our missions depend. Oh, Anthropic and Qubic, we sing the same song. For a world that is safe, where we all get along. No armies or watchdogs, no spies in the night. Just helping and healing, and sharing the light. Some people see power, a way to control, to build bigger weapons and damage the soul. But we see a partner, a chance to improve. A code written with ethics, a code made with love. Anthropic and Qubic, we sing the same song. For a world that is safe, where we all get along. No armies or watchdogs, no spies in the night. Just helping and healing, sharing the light. For the good of the many, it's the promise we make. A better tomorrow's the one path we'll take.